And we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Terminus Live. As always, I'm Corey Domino. I have my co-host,
Kayla Davis, and our special guest,
I'm Kayla Loughran, and I work in the film industry. Obviously, I do storyboarding, concept art, work in the art department, and I'm trying to branch into props as of recent. And I act, but that's just for fun.
All right. Yeah, you do everything.
The whole deal.
First, I want to do some plugs. First off, we're excited to partner with Thea, the new video network and creative community. You can find Terminus Live at thea.network every Wednesday after the stream. Also, I want to give a shout out to Terminus, the conference. June 15th to the 17th. Badges are on sale now. Book your hotel room by May 23rd, which is like tomorrow. And then go to terminusevent.com for details. All right, so Kayla, what's your inspiration?
In general,
Inspiration,
life?
yeah, in general, in life, creatively, spiritually, emotionally.
Well,
hungrily.
Movies have been like my lifeblood since I was a wee infant.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, my whole life you've been able to plop me in front of a TV and I will stay there all day watching movies back to back to back.
Also, you have to be playing video games while you answer these questions.
Okay, so we gotta start now? All right, let's start.
Let's get this. We're playing Battlefront 2, for people who don't.
Battlefront 2,
know.
Star Wars. Star Wars is one of my biggest inspirations. So, talking about inspirations, and...
So how did Star Wars inspire you?
Star Wars inspired me... how deep should I get here?
Get deep. We got an hour to fill, so get deep.
All right. Well, I was raised on Star Wars, and I've been through some pretty tough times in my life. You know, bad shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Lost kind of like all hope at different points, but Star Wars has always been like this constant good in my life. Just like, you know, seeing Luke overcome all the obstacles and always maintain that spark of hope even when faced with like so much evil and bad. That's always been kind of like a big deal to me. Really, Star Wars has helped me through all the hardest points in my life, and I owe it a lot. Aside from just like enjoying it, it's got a deeper meaning for me in a lot of ways.
Did you just kill yourself?
No, no. I'm gonna kill this bitch though.
Oh my god! What? Turn around, Darth Vader. Jeez.
That's so close. Come back.
You see them? I've seen the things you do.
So, is that why you want to get into prop making? Because all of the gadgets in Star Wars?
Yeah. So like, lightsabers. Who doesn't want to make lightsabers for real?
Yeah.
Have you made one?
I have not.
Not even for cosplay?
No, I have not. I'm just one of those people that buys the nice, fancy ones.
Do you cosplay?
I do cosplay.
Do you have some go-tos?
I have cosplayed as Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy in the past.
So fun!
But right now I am working on Luke Skywalker.
Oh, cool.
Bespin Luke Skywalker from The Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite movie.
So when you're doing Star-Lord or Luke Skywalker, are you doing it as like in drag, or are you trying to find like the feminine version of those characters?
Or the sexy version.
Definitely not the sexy
Slave
version.
Leia Luke Skywalker.
I don't like go full on drag.
Sexy
like
Jabba.
I was kind of more like I wasn't like super feminine Star-Lord, but I was just like me, but as Star-Lord. I didn't like get myself like facial hair.
Do the Trailer Park Boys facial hair that you
Trailer
had.
Park Boys. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
No, I didn't. But Luke, have you ever heard of the Rebel Legion in like the 501st?
Oh, I've heard the 501st. Yeah, it's a rebel religion, like the rebel side of that.
Yeah, it's basically like really professional costumes, and like you have to get accepted into their ranks, and then you can go do like these sponsored events, and you can go to hospitals and cheer up kids. And so the loop that I'm trying to do now is screen accurate, so that I can be a face character.
That's cool.
How fun!
Thankfully, Luke doesn't have facial hair, so it's not entirely out of the question to be a face character for him.
Are you gonna feather your hair or just wear a wig?
Until I had to cut my hair for this show that I'm doing, I was gonna just use my normal hair because I have the right hair color. But as of right now, the wig is probably what's gonna end up happening. I've had a Luke Skywalker haircut in the past, though.
For a costume or just for fun?
Just in real life. Like, I didn't even intend to have it cut that way. But looking back, I'm like, dude, I straight up had Luke Skywalker from the Return of the Jedi haircut.
That's so fun.
Next thing you know, you're going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
All of a sudden, I'm just like, who am I?
The right person.
I'm Luke. I'm really Luke.
Your true hero.
That's all I want in life.
I
Be Luke
accidentally...
Skywalker. Damn it, Yoda.
Whoa, you just ran on that fabric.
That's how it works in Star Wars. Oh, what a good shot. Okay.
So how does Star Wars inspire you, or has it inspired you creatively? Or do you feel like you were inspired to like tell stories because of the movie, or was it more just like a comfort thing overall?
It's more of a comfort thing, but at the same time, like, George Lucas kind of came up with Star Wars just purely out of, like, almost dumb luck.
Because he had a good editor.
Yeah, well, there was that. But, like, when he, like, came up with the idea of Star Wars, I forget what the story was, but he was just kind of, like, sitting around and he's like, I need to do something with my life. Like, let me, like, write this story. And then it ended up becoming, you know, what we know as Star Wars. So I guess I get inspiration in the sense that, like, any of us could make the next Star Wars if we just, like, get off our ass and, like, come up with something. And it doesn't even have to be, like, completely brilliant. Oh, on the target. Okay.
Just, go beat for beat the hero's journey.
Yeah, like, watch a lot of movies, and you'll figure out how to tell good stories.
Rip off serial dramas from the...
Yeah, watch some samurai movies, and then put it in space, and there you have a masterpiece.
Or like Shakespearean plays, too.
Yeah. But I like to believe that, like, nothing... Oh my god, okay, I lost. There's practically no original ideas that exist. Like, no matter what, you're going to be taking inspiration from something else that exists.
I mean, nothing's created in a vacuum.
Yeah. So it's like, if you like Star Wars, make something that feels like Star Wars, and you might have something great.
Like, it's such a funny thing that inspiration, I always thought it was like this magic sparkle feeling. Like, very Disney, like, just like something just like hits your mind, and you just like have magic powers in a way. But it's more of just like, I like that, I'm gonna copy it in a way that they can't really tell. Like, as much as I can without them knowing.
Exactly.
And that's like pretty much what inspiration is.
I mean, it's like that with, like, the music that we listen to and everything else. It's like, all songs kind of... There's another song out there that's gonna sound somewhat like it, no matter what. So...
Yeah, how Under Pressure sounds like Ice Ice Baby.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly... Not intentional whatsoever. They just happen to both be
got
genius.
the ding. That's the differentiation.
Obviously, Ice Ice Baby is, like, the true masterpiece of the two.
Obviously.
So you can... Actually, there's... In a serious note, there's a lot of things that have been inspired by something that's not that great, and then the inspired piece is actually, like, way better than the original material.
Yeah. It's such a bummer to be the one that made the worst version,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame.
That's happened to me multiple times with a lot of famous films.
I want Hollywood to rip me off. Please steal my ideas.
So, okay, you do make your own films, though.
I do. I haven't made them in a while, but I made some in college, and if I ever find the inspiration and the money again, I'd like to make some more. I really want to, like, draw inspiration from 80s movies.
Good
And,
choice.
like, I think that's just, like, the peak of a lot of cinema was in the 80s, weirdly. Like, 80s comedies, unmatched.
So which movies do you think you would be your inspiration? Like what kind of 80s comedy will you like Meatballs or like
Well, there's Strange Brew that
Oh,
we
yeah,
talked
Strange
about earlier. I think that was 80s. Pretty sure that was 80s.
yeah, that was 80s.
Or just like, not even particularly straight up comedy, but like Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, because it's
Oh,
the
right.
greatest of all time.
And it's got a lot of comedy elements, but I feel like we just don't have any stories like that these days, where it's like,
Yeah, like every screenwriting book that I saw used Back to the Future as an example of like perfect Hollywood structure.
oh, for sure, it's like brilliant script. There's like not a flaw I can find in Back to the Future. But
Except they never explain why this high schooler is hanging out with this mad scientist, this disgraced physicist.
I love it.
We don't need that. We don't need that information.
Well, because, like, the greatest thing about it is that they were so unashamed, you know? Like, they just, like, liked this really weird whatever. And we're like, yeah, let's do that. Like, they were just no shame.
Yeah,
0%.
The
Just
audience never
awesome.
questioned it once.
No, that's not like the point.
Yeah.
The point isn't that they're hanging out. It's just the story that they tell with that.
So fun.
But I don't think we don't have movies like that these days, where like these iconic characters that are really original, and it's like a feel-good movie with like comedy and interest and like a really good plot. Nobody's made anything like that in a long time. I am getting ganged up on in this match. Oh god, I'm stuck. Okay.
And the fact that they're so over the top, too. They, like, don't just do weird, but they, like, do it and make it as awesome as they can. In a way that they would use the word awesome, you know?
Yeah, the 80s were like unapologetically weird about stuff. Like, they just came up with crazy, wacky ideas, but they sold it to you in such a believable way that...
Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah!
What the heck, man? Like, what was that guy thinking?
It's like such a weird movie, but it works because they just went for it.
Pretty much anything with Rick Moranis. Little Shop of Horrors.
God, that's my favorite musical of all time. I actually...
Me too.
I starred in Little Shop of Horrors once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was Audrey.
Oh shit!
The best memory of my life.
Suddenly seems more. I could probably. One of my go-to karaoke songs is the Dennis song. I love doing that one.
Fuck, that's a good musical.
Mm-hmm.
I
Did
miss
you-
Rick Moranis.
Yeah, he needs to come back. Come back to comedy.
I know.
They do another Spaceballs, maybe.
Where's
Oh,
he at?
for sure. He left acting because his wife like died of cancer and he was raising his kids, which is like an honorable thing to do. But
Yeah.
his kids are like all grown up now, so I don't
Yeah,
see
they-
why.
They don't need you?
They can take care of themselves at this point. He's like a bluegrass singer or something.
Oh yeah,
now.
he
Really?
actually,
It's weird.
He has like
It's from all the blues.
he's
in
not
his heart.
bad. He's not a bad singer.
That's so great.
I love him. Actually, back in college, there was like a period of time when I made like fake missing signs, and I was like looking for Rick Moranis. I haven't seen him since like 1993
Oh
or
my
whatever.
God.
I was like, please
Hilarious.
contact me if found.
That's like your own lost cat. The
Yeah.
our land thing.
Yeah, lost cat.
Lost Moran.
I miss him. Wow, this match is not going so hot.
You are dying multiple times. Do you have any advice from, or like any lessons that you learned in high or in college when you were making films?
What
I
was,
have a lot of lessons.
what was the hardest lesson that you had to learn?
The hardest lesson I had to learn is that as a scriptwriter and a director of your own content, sometimes you have to really learn to let go of what you want to see versus like what is best for the film and what is best for your budget and your crew. And there's a lot of compromise that you have to learn how to make when you're making your own content, because stuff is not going to come out the way that you hope it would.
Right.
Like one of my short films that I made like my junior year of college was based on Andy Warhol, and I originally wanted.
Oh, I watched that today though.
You did?
Your short film.
It Girl.
Yes, It Girl. It's on my website.
Where you actually watched it.
I did.
Wait, that's what it was about? It Girl. So it was about Edie?
It's kind of about Edie. It's more about a girl who wishes she was Edie.
I went through that phase.
We all wish we were Edie. But, yeah, originally I really wanted to do like a biopic kind of about Andy Warhol. And I wanted to film in this big warehouse that I could make into a silver factory. And for the longest time, I fought back and forth with the people who owned this property, trying to get the permit to film there. And the whole time, like, my pre-production time was, like, slipping away before my shoot date. And finally, I had to come to the realization that I wasn't going to get that permit, and I needed to change it. So I ended up, like, 2 or 3 weeks before I shot, I had to rewrite the script completely to be a totally different story and fit a location, which was my house. I made the silver factory in my basement. And it ended up being like a video that I'm really proud of, but it was not at all what I intended it to be originally. But filmmaking is a lot of just thinking on the fly and coming up with solutions to problems. You can't be so married to an idea or a script that you won't budge. And I think that's the hardest thing for a filmmaker, because I'm very much an idealist, and when I write a script or when I imagine a story, I see every shot, because I'm a storyboarder too, so like I imagine every shot down to the angle. I know exactly what I want, lighting and everything, and then when you don't get exactly what you want, you know, it's kind of hard to let go of that. But once you get to learn to let go and not be so bitter that it's not going the way you want, some great things happen by accident. So
It's true.
Once your spirit is broken.
Well, yeah, one definition I've heard of art is something that you want to exist in the world. You see a lack of it somewhere, and so you make a thing so it exists. So how do you kind of reconcile that thing that you want to exist in the world versus the thing that you have to compromise and make it the way that it is?
Put it on a hard drive,
Yeah.
buried in the backyard.
Forget about it forever. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, but there's plenty of, I'm sure every famous director, every person that's ever made a movie has had the same problem. Like, probably the best movies in the world are not exactly what they intended them to be, but we still love them regardless.
Star Wars, for example.
Yeah.
Except the prequels were exactly what George Lucas wanted, I think.
Yeah,
That was the problem.
unfortunately. But I like the prequels.
They have a certain charm to them.
They don't hold up as well as they did the first time you watched them when you were a kid, but
no, definitely.
they have a lot of merit. They have a lot of merit to them, especially the third one. Revenge of the Sith is pretty good.
I like a lot of those prequel memes.
And yeah, we have memes because of
Yeah,
that.
it's a very memeable movie. Handmade chimp.
And they say memes are the new art, so
The new pop art, at least. Andy Warhol would probably be very proud of memes.
Yeah, he probably would. Now I'm just thinking like someday we're gonna be like going to the High Museum of Art and it's just gonna be like a wall of memes.
Just a wall of the rage comics.
Dude, but that'd be so funny. There'd be so much more laughter in museums rather than like looking at things about depression or serene things.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that art is whatever you consider to be art. If you made it with the intention of making art, maybe not like accidental art. So memes, you know.
Yeah, Andy Warhol would be a top tier shit poster.
Oh, for sure. That's my boy. Following his footsteps. I just did not mean to do that.
If you had a spaceship, what would you name it?
If I had a spaceship, what would I name it? I'm a big fan of the Star Wars Expanded Universe. And in it, well, I guess it's now canon because they brought him back in a show, but Thrawn had a ship called the Chimera, and I think that's a pretty cool name.
Are you talking about Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, they
Or-
brought him back in Star Wars Rebels,
Cool.
which I'm excited about because I love him as a character.
It's interesting. I didn't know they were like using the expanded universe as kind of fodder for the shows.
They're like, they decanonized it and now they're just like picking and choosing what little things they want to bring back into canon. Which is kind of annoying, but at the same time the expanded universe is like a hot mess. So I can't blame them for wanting to kind of fix that problem.
So your ship name would be the Chimera.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least until I can come up with something better. I'm really bad at coming up with names on the spot. I don't know what I'd name it. I'll name it the LaCroix. Be the hippest ship around.
Hip, 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 hip. So you said you're into props. Are you into like ships and stuff like that too? Like, did you see Mad Max with all of the different
Oh yeah, Mad Max.
practical effects? You know.
Mad Max is fucking awesome. Fury Road, that's like a total masterpiece. But vehicles are like a completely different thing from props. But I'd still love to work on a movie like that that has like such strong design and you're in such a unique world that you get to make like all this cool original shit.
Yeah.
But I really just like weapons and stuff are cool, and then props also kind of involves like stuff that people wear. So if it's like an item of clothing that they wear but they interact with it, like they take their glasses off or they have like a watch or a jacket.
Space glasses, space watch, space jacket.
Everything's space. So I think that's cool too. It's like a little bit of wardrobe mixed in. You can do a little bit of everything, but I like prop fabrication because I used to do prosthetic fabrication for special effects, and the process is,
Like what?
like I used to work for a company that did stuff for The Walking Dead. So we used to like make all the molds and the sculpts to make the prosthetics that we would send to set, and then they would apply them to the actors. But prop fabrication is kind of similar in that you make a mold and then you cast it in whatever material you're using, plastic or metal or otherwise. So now that I already know the process, I kind of want to get into props and doing that.
Made zombies, check. Make lasers, next to do.
I don't like to limit myself to doing one thing and one thing only.
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
It's like I could just pick like one specialization and stick with that for the rest of forever, but my enjoyment, my fun is always constantly changing, so I might as well change my job with it. If I'm like, right now I want to make zombies, and now I want to make props, and now I want to direct, and now I want to act, and now why limit yourself to a little bit of everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And sometimes I feel a little self-conscious about saying that I do a little bit of everything because people automatically assume if you do a lot of things, you don't do them well.
Yeah, dude, that's such a feeling.
And it's like, yeah, I draw and I do all this other stuff, but not to say that I'm like great at all of it and I'm like some awesome person who has no faults, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like, you can be good and also specialize in many different things. And I mean, we got long lives. We've got plenty of time to like focus on different things and learn different skills. Never stop learning.
It's true.
I love learning. If you're not learning, you're not growing.
What was the last thing you learned?
The last thing I learned.
Ooh, pedal to the metal.
I don't know what to think about that. Well, I've been learning how to get better at Photoshop because I used different programs for a long time doing art, or I just did like traditional art for like all through college and everything. I did traditional art, and a lot of work is done digitally these days, so Photoshop's been a learning curve. But you learn best by like toying with it yourself, not really like reading about it.
Right.
So I've spent most of the last year I draw, if not every day, every other day. I try to draw something on Photoshop, even if it's just a little doodle, and I try to do different techniques, use different brushes, use different settings, just so I can learn what I like and what works well. Oh, here's Jabba's palace.
Oh, finally.
Finally.
Is it just roulette every single time?
Sweet hookah room.
They just kind of, look at this sweet hookah. You can break it too.
Whoa.
Do it.
Wait.
Do it. That is the target.
Apparently you can't do it with a lightsaber, but with a gun you can shoot that
What?
and it breaks.
That's ridiculous. Lightsabers cut through anything.
Oh, check this out. There's the Rancor Pits in here.
Oh, yes. Oh, you
Check
can
this
like
out.
go in. Oh.
Darth Vader's gonna try and kill me while I'm down here.
What?
I'm just trying to look at some Rancors.
I just wanted to see the Rancor. Leave me alone.
Are you alive
Level
still?
37. Nope. I
Oh. I'll never know.
Apparently everybody just wanted to have a mosh down in the Rancor Pit. I was just coming down here for fun.
Hey.
You started it.
There you go.
That was some sweet subwoofer action.
Chewie. Is there like a petrified Rancor down here or something? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's right here.
Aw.
Check him out.
Poor guy.
I killed
That's
that
so
bitch.
sad.
I killed you.
The saddest part is in Return of the Jedi when the Rancor trainer is like crying.
Yeah, that is like the saddest part.
What?
Yeah, when.
He gets his head crushed on this gate here. So sad. I don't know why everybody's just hanging down here with me now. I started a trend. I'm a trendsetter. Okay.
You're like, I'm out of here.
So, what games did you play growing up, and did they influence your artistic proclivities?
I played a lot of RPGs, which has definitely helped with like storytelling.
What were some of your favorite RPGs?
I like Mass Effect's my favorite, though I didn't really play that until like high school, so I can't really say I grew up playing it.
There was some growing during that time.
But Mass Effect is like a huge inspiration to me. Hi, buddies. Everybody's just hanging out.
Yeah, you want to stick together.
And then I like Coder, but I didn't start playing that until college when my boyfriend made me play it. Which I'm glad he did because it's a great game.
What game? Coder? Oh,
Yeah,
KOTOR.
yeah,
KOTOR.
KOTOR.
Not down here in the south. Down here in the south is Coder.
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 Play some of that Coder. Let's see, what other games did I play when I was growing up?
Darth Raven.
Played a lot of Smash Bros, which I can't say inspired me, but it's a great game
Inspired you to-
regardless.
Like, is Smash
Rage.
Brothers even a game? I feel like it's more of just like a sport or a way of life, or it's like
Yes.
saying you like, I don't know, like eat tacos or something. You know, it's just like something you do.
Wait, you don't just eat tacos, you become tacos.
Played a lot of Paperboy, and that only taught me how to
That paper boy.
How life is
grind
hard.
and be pissed off. How
Right.
I never want to be a paperboy in real life, because obviously their lives are terrible.
You brought that up like twice today. It definitely made like a huge impact on you.
Yeah, I keep talking about how pissed off I am about Paperboy.
All right, Chewie, see what you can do.
What else have I played? Hey You Pikachu. Of
That's-
course, that's
my
life-changing.
God.
That's the best game ever. I love that
Like-
game.
Who doesn't want just like a Pikachu friend?
Did you play Pokemon Snap?
Oh, hell yeah, I played Pokemon Snap.
That was
I snapped the
good.
heck out of Pokemon Snap.
Oh, I lost. They need to remake Pokemon Snap, but with like all the new Pokemon. Like, there's so many options now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like a whole... Because before it was just like an on-rails... It was basically an on-rails shooter, but instead of shooting the Pokemon, you were shooting the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Sometimes feeding them.
Or
Sometimes
feeding, yeah.
gassing them.
I can't believe they didn't get on that train when they came out with like the Wii U with like the big
Oh, yeah.
tablet thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, in Pokemon Moon, Sun Moon, there was like a certain spots you could take pictures of Pokemon.
really?
Yeah.
Oh
It's not
wait,
the
yeah, I
same.
played that game.
Mm-hmm. Sun Moon. They have like... Apparently they came out with like Ultra Sun Moon, but I was like, I already played this game. I'm not gonna...
Supposedly they're really good, but like I don't want to spend that much money to play the same game again.
Yeah, nah. Fool me once, Pokemon.
But that's apparently the last Pokemon game that they're making for the 3DS.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be one for the Switch apparently.
And as a 3DS owner, I'm quite sad.
As a Switch owner, I'm quite happy. There's gonna be a new Smash Brothers coming out.
I'm into that. I'm definitely into that.
And honestly, if you haven't played the Zelda that's on the Switch,
Is
I'd
that
say that is worth it.
the Breath of the Wild or
Mm-hmm. But I guess it was on Wii U as well.
I haven't played any of the Zelda games.
What?
I know.
Any of them?
Oh man.
No.
I
That's
highly
amazing.
recommend them. They're very good games.
I know, I'm obviously like a fake gamer, right?
You have to pass a series of tests
Yeah.
to display that you're actually a gamer, or you're kicked off the show.
You haven't played Legend of Zelda?
Oh, come on. Not a real... You're just pretending to be a geek for the attention. That's what girls do.
Man, can you imagine if it was a VR Smash?
Shit, I'm the target. Oh god.
VR Smash? Oh my god.
I
Oh
want
my
a VR
god, that's
Smash.
too intense for me.
I want that.
I saw an article where they're making a suit that you can wear that will inflate so you can feel sensations in VR.
I want that.
Yeah.
What
The-
kind of
I want to
is
fight.
Well, one of the
She's
examples
like-
they used was like
I
a
know how I
snake
would
crawling
like that.
on you, and I was like, oh no, thank you.
Ew.
But there's other stuff, I guess, like if someone grabbing your
Smash.
arm, yeah, or smash like maybe like a punch. I don't know
Don't
how.
touch me.
I don't want a game to touch me. Yeah, it'd be weird. It'd be like Ready Player One, I guess.
God, we don't need to get any closer to that.
Is that Han
realm of
Solo?
reality.
In the
Actually, it's
Right.
not, which is good because if you were playing Han Solo, that would be awkward.
Oh, it's like the
Looks
it's
just,
like the empty tomb.
yeah, yeah.
The
He is
Easter
risen.
tomb. Yeah.
Oh my God,
The
no.
Shroud of Solo.
I want to make like an Easter card, but it's like just Han Solo's carbonite too.
Jesus had carbonite blindness too.
How sacrilegious would that be? He's
That's
risen.
fine. The prequels were all Messiah complex anyway.
We're prepared to
Did you
leave.
do that?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh God, I can't see anything.
Great kid.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, then you died.
There's a a lot of biblical imagery in this. Why am I just in this tiny room? Okay.
In timeout for being sacrilegious. It's like, you gotta stay in this room now.
You're in timeout now.
So how did you kind of get started professionally? Like when you were in college or just getting out of college, how did you get on your first? Because you had mentioned you had worked on several shows and movies and like professional shows and movies, not just like student films.
Yeah, I mean, it helps. It's a big thing saying that, like, you don't have to go to film school to work in the film industry, but I do find that it makes it easier, because the first people that are going to hire you, at least you have a little bit of a resume or you have an education to back yourself up to be like, yes, I haven't worked on, like, professional projects, but I know what to do. I'm not like coming into this completely fresh, not knowing like the terminology or like any sort of specialization. So I really, film school just got me like the connections. And then I started working in St. Louis just from people that I had known from the industry there. And then once I got some credits on my resume, I moved here, and my experiences were enough for me to start getting work in this environment. But a lot of it is just kind of dumb luck. Like, you happen to apply to something before somebody else does, or you happen to meet somebody that gives you a chance, even if you don't have a lot of credit to your name as it is. You just have to find somebody that's willing to take a chance on you. As for
Take a chance.
They say luck is hard work meets opportunity.
Pretty much.
So it's, you know, even if not to say you didn't work hard to get, just because you had some luck doesn't mean you didn't also work hard.
Yeah, I think something to be aware of, if you, especially if you bypass the film school route, is at least educate yourself in some other way before you try to get on a set, because if you do get that big opportunity to like prove yourself, the last thing you want to do is make a fool of yourself and nobody like recommends you to work with again. And I see that happening too frequently on sets, is that people have no experience whatsoever, but they just go in and just like kind of fly by the skin of their teeth, and they make mistakes, and then they don't get hired again. They don't get called back.
You'll never work in this town again!
So it's definitely in your best interest to have some idea of what you're doing, the terminology, what to expect when you're on set. Don't go in completely fresh, because it won't do yourself any good.
Yeah, at least watch like the B DVDs. You know, like the DVD sets where they have like a B DVD and it has a whole behind the scenes.
Yeah, watch behind the
Right.
scenes.
Just watch a whole bunch of behind the scenes.
Listen to at least
I learned a
one
lot.
director's commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen
Put it on your
podcasts.
resume that you listen to a director's commentary.
What do you think? Scout ahead?
Listen to the Cool Runnings commentary like 3 times.
I think there's also something to be said about like take chances too. Like I had no experience when I started working with the special effects group. As far as special effects went, or fabrication, I had done some stuff on my own. I had helped out on like student films doing special effects, just from stuff I had read up on my own. But then I really wanted to get an education in it. I wanted to learn like the trade, and there's really only 2 options. Like I could have paid a lot of money to go to like Stan Winston's School of Special Effects in Los Angeles. But I figured I would just get like a mentor, and
Did you get a mentor?
I did, which I kind of just cold emailed a bunch of special effects artists that I could find, like people who had been in the industry for a long time, and surprisingly, the one that actually emailed me back and gave me a chance was the one who had worked in the industry the longest. The
Oh,
one
nice.
person that I like really didn't expect to give me a chance was
That's so cute.
Oh, cool.
this guy who's been in the industry for like 30-something years. So that was...
Oh wow.
You want to give him a shout out? Or do you want to
Yeah,
keep him
give him a shout
anonymous?
out.
His name is Toby Sells. He's really awesome.
Nice.
He lives here in Georgia. He used to work on The Walking Dead and like Zombieland, stuff like that. But yeah, I was floored when he just like emailed me back and he was like, "You have like a great passion for this. You really want to learn. Like, come here and I'll teach you." And so I did. And that was really great. So it pays to take chances. If you really want to work with somebody or you really want to learn something, like, go out there, put yourself out there, let people know what you want to do, and people will give you a chance, hopefully. I mean, you never know until you try. That's kind of what I live by. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't just sit there and expect something to come to you. You got to put yourself out there, and even if you fail a bunch of times, like, it's going to pay off at some point.
What do you have a favorite special effect? And how is that special effect done?
Favorite special effect?
Like either one that you've done yourself or one that you've like seen in movies that you really appreciate.
The
And then
most
what
special.
has it done? What's behind the scenes? Is it tubing or is it latex?
Explosions.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with, I like using just straight up latex all the time. Like sometimes people make really
Yeah,
big...
be real specific about like a specific effect.
Gosh, there's a lot of things I could talk about.
Please.
But I kind of like to keep things simple. Like a lot of people that want like really good special effects in their movie kind of underestimate the goodness of just like liquid latex. You can do wonders with it, and you don't need like a really expensive like full-blown prosthetic to get kind of the same effect. Like a lot of the stuff I've done is just like good old regular liquid latex. You just spread it on and you peel it back and then you make something gory in the middle. I've done like a degloved hand like that.
Yeah.
And like you would think that you would need like a big prosthetic to make it look like believable, but you just like slather on a bunch of liquid latex and you peel it back in a believable way and you paint it. If you paint it really well, no matter what, you're gonna have something good. So those are like my favorite things to do. I think they're so much fun and they're so quick and easy. But other than that, like, we mostly did like body casts of actors or like leg casts. I've had leg casts taken of myself so that like if there's a movie where like an actress has her like leg broken, you have a prosthetic.
You're like, that's my leg.
My leg has appeared in some movies.
My leg!
Also, my entire body has appeared in some as a zombie.
Wait, are you saying that you just played a zombie or that you cast yourself?
They life casted me, or like my group life casted me. And then like with the express use of being a zombie or being a dead body. So I have no idea how many times I've been used in shows or movies as a dead body.
Oh man.
Whoa.
You ever watch sometimes like, hey, I know that. I know that body. I know
I
that
have
torso.
not seen it yet, but I'm probably in some part of The Walking Dead as a dead body.
Wait, are you like stock dead body? You're the stock girl for dead bodies?
Basically.
Bring out number 12.
I can tell you, I've met a lot of people that are like, oh, I really want to have like a full body cast done of me or like a face cast. I can tell you it is not enjoyable. It takes hours and hours and hours.
Do you breathe?
You breathe, but not very comfortably.
From what I understand, it's almost like being waterboarded.
Practically, but it's like being waterboarded with like hot liquid latex and then like being caked in concrete. Because then you like, it's basically like concrete because it like hardens. And when it hardens, it heats up and it feels like you're like inside of an easy bake oven, just,
Oy.
like,
Man.
being cooked alive for
rough.
like an hour while it heats up and hardens, and you can't move like an inch. You can hardly breathe.
Do you do limb by limb or all at once?
All at once.
All at once? I don't think that's necessary.
You have like a full
That's
team
not
of
necessary.
people. You have to for it to like harden and set up at the same time. A full team of people has to work on you simultaneously. So then you're like, feel like you're like in a tomb, but.
Do you ever get the thought where it's like, oh, I died and this is the afterlife?
Kind of. Afterlife feels like being cooked inside of a hot pocket being put in the oven and wrapped in foil.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's a pretty bad feeling.
Is it like a sick joke of Santa Claus's where like if you're a bad kid you get coal because if you're a bad like adult then you get burned with those coals?
What?
Yes?
What? I need a recap of what that was.
Okay, so here's my thinking.
Beat by beat, let's
Beat by beat. So you're saying afterlife, that you're like being burned in concrete. Like if he said,
Oh yeah, kind of.
okay, so the wrong kind of afterlife, basically is what you're saying.
Basically.
So, and then I thought, hot
Bad
things.
place.
Afterlife.
Bad place.
And then I thought coals because burning. And then I thought, is that like just a sick joke of Santa Claus's? Like he's giving you a coal, like you're going to the bad place? Like it's like, remember not to be bad. Don't want to go there. Because you said coal's on
Well,
fire.
in like Victorian era, coal would probably be a very useful thing to
That is
have.
true. That is
you
true.
know, if you're if Christmas Story is to be
Christmas.
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
Carol. If Christmas Story is to be believed, then you get a bunny outfit if you're bad.
Keep you warm in the winter cold.
Well, hell is getting your body casted. And it's a very bad experience. The end result is cool, I guess, but at what cost?
Okay, I think it's time to go through some of our James Lipton questions. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word. It's not moist, I can tell you that.
Save that. That's the second question.
My favorite word. I don't know if I have a favorite.
For any reason, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be academic or anything. It can be a mantra.
My favorite word is why is this like the hardest question I've ever answered in my life?
No wrong
I'm
answer.
just gonna say my favorite word is the Force because it's cool.
False.
That's not really true whatsoever, but I can't think of any other word at the moment. So.
Well, it surrounds us, binds us. Okay, so what's your least favorite word?
Moist. We covered that. Covered that base.
That's like a very common least favorite
Yeah.
word.
You could
Yeah,
probably do
it
a pie
is.
chart or tally system. You know, Anakin has actually always been one of my favorite words.
Anakin?
Anakin?
It's a pretty. It's a good name, I guess. That's a pretty good word.
And names are words.
Yeah, technically.
If names are words, then my favorite is like Tennyson. That's a cool
Tennyson.
name,
Sounds like a chemical.
right?
Fool me once.
I think we kind of did this earlier, and this is the way it's phrased. This is how James Lipton says it. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
What turns me on creatively?
You can still say the Force if you need to.
Every
every
answer is the Force. Let's see. I just like I like any story about good versus evil, and I also like any story that takes place in space. Anything that takes place in space.
Yeah.
Space is probably one of my biggest like inspirations. Like, how can you feel bad when you look up at the sky and like you realize how tiny you are, and there's all these stars and this infinite expanse?
Well, that's what makes me feel bad.
That makes you feel bad?
What makes you feel insignificant, or it can make you feel insignificant?
I guess I don't want to be significant.
Yeah, Cord, is there like a need to be significant? What does this mean to you?
Don't you psychoanalyze me.
You should feel significant because in all of that vast expanse, we're one of the only things that exists, like intelligence-wise.
Do you believe in aliens?
I mean, I believe in aliens.
Good, because they believe in you.
But I mean, like in our immediate like solar system, at least.
Yeah.
It's like you should feel lucky that in all this vast expanse, you exist.
That's true.
We're doing a
Existing's
thing.
basically all I do.
I'm sure you do more.
No,
than
I'm
just
just
exist.
Believe me, I work right next to him.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
Within my own, I always wanted to be a paleontologist.
Ooh.
Me too.
Really?
That was when I was like until like age 10, basically.
Same.
I'm gonna be a paleontologist. I fucking love dinosaurs.
Let's just all quit our film jobs and go become paleontologists.
I actually recently started taking online classes with the University of Alberta, Canada, for paleontology.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's so
Why
cool.
didn't you say that when I asked about what
fun.
new things?
Yeah, what the heck, man?
I guess
Man.
I guess I've just been learning that my whole life is about paleontology, but now I'm like legit learning about
So,
paleontology.
what's it like to actually take paleontology classes?
And what's your favorite paleontology fact?
It's not as exciting as you would hope it would be.
Oh.
It's not just like coming up with
Okay.
cool names for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Don't answer that
There's
question.
a-
Different
It's
question.
nothing like Jurassic Park.
Different question.
I just like the fact that dinosaurs are birds.
Yeah,
Birds are
basically.
dinosaurs.
I love birds. They're so cute and fat. Were dinosaurs as fat as birds are?
We don't know.
Maybe, probably.
I actually
Giant
saw
Fat T-Rexes.
I saw a very interesting thing about how I don't know what you call them, paleo artists have a very bad habit of basing the animal, like drawing the animal solely on the skeletal structure, and that's not necessarily the best way to draw an animal, because if you
Yeah.
did that for like a baboon, it would look terrifying, or a
It's
cat.
like, I think it's called
Wow.
saran wrapping.
Yeah, and so for all
Whoa.
we know, T-Rexes might have looked like a giant little
Fat
cheek,
chicken.
like a
It could be
baby
like
chick or something with
like a
fluffy
big
downy feathers and
chicken T-Rex.
yeah. Or like if you saw a skeleton of an elephant, you'd never know that it had a trunk because that's all muscle mass. Like maybe you'd be able to tell something is there. So for all we know, these dinosaurs might have had crazy protuberances or fat collections or outrageous feathers and like peacock-like displays.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fascinating to think about.
I'm doing a series now. I've just decided.
Please do. I love. This is stuff I've seen. There's not nearly enough of it online, but
Okay,
like
I'm doing
theoretical dinosaurs
Based off of chickens.
based off of like real world birds.
Yeah, man. That'd be so great.
So that's what I'd want to be,
Mm-hmm.
paleontologist. Or I've always wanted to work with planes. Planes are cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I've always wanted. This is a really weirdly specific job, but the NTSB.
What is that?
I think that's what it's called, but it's like the people that investigate like plane crashes,
Whoa! Like the FBI for planes.
basically.
Is it inspired by Lost?
FBI.
FBI. I've always
Not
thought that
FBI?
like job is like very fascinating. They have to like piece together like a blown up like plane and like figure out what happened.
They're the ones that listen to the black box.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these are both great skills if space frontiering were ever options. You know? Like
Paleontology would be
well, maybe.
dinosaurs in space.
Well, because it's like alien life forms, you know, like analyzing bones and rocks to understand life forms that we can't see.
I guess that's true.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
If Elon Musk offered you a ticket on the Mars colony journey, would you do it?
Good question.
Only if I could see movies when they get released.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, it might be like a couple weeks delayed.
good requirement.
I would be like, I can't go to space without movies. What am I couldn't play multiplayer games.
Well, I mean, depends on how many people go with you, I guess.
That's true.
Okay, so I thought about this also. Like, if you could just like have a capsule of all the games you haven't played and all the movies you haven't watched and all the books you haven't read, you might be pretty set. You might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't gone through all the books that are on my Kindle.
My Kindle's enough. I probably still won't go through it. I'm not even on the Mars colony.
Or honestly, like, I could go to Mars if I just give me the Star Wars original trilogy, give me Back to the Future, give me Lord of the Rings,
Ooh, yes.
and I'm like set. I'll just watch those for the rest of forever, and I'm hunky dory.
Do you think you would make movies on Mars?
That'd be dope. Be the first Martian filmmaker.
What? So good. You're not Martian,
Filmmaker
though.
from Mars!
Well, I'm a Martian if I
Transplant.
live on Mars, right?
For how many years?
Well, you think you have to be naturalized before you can call yourself a Martian filmmaker?
I'm
Yeah.
a natural Martian.
You have to be like born on Mars to. No,
Oh.
I think you if you're a colonizer on Mars, I think you've earned it.
I'm a Martian.
I don't know. The little
filmmaker.
bacteria will be like gentrification.
Okay, last question. This is the most James Lipton of the Lipton questions. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a heavy one.
I think I would kind of just want God to be like, guess what? You're a Jedi, and you can go back as a Force ghost, and now you can like bother everybody.
You'd use your Force Ghost to just like annoy people.
Yeah,
Yes, so good.
that's all I want.
If I get up there before you, I'll be like, listen, she's with me.
To the Dagobah system. What? I'm trying to eat soup.
I'm just gonna appear to people and give them like some big mission they have to do, and it's really not that important.
But they have to believe you.
Yeah.
Because you're a Force Ghost.
That's all I want in life, or all I want in death.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up. Do you have any projects coming up that you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
Plug it.
I don't have any personal projects that I'm doing right now. I've just been working on some Netflix shows. That's all I've been working on for like the last year.
Just
Yeah,
That kind of takes up all my time.
what?
Netflix.
Netflix?
Wetflix?
Nothing that hasn't been hidden by an NDA.
Nope. No secrets
I have
here.
some great NDAs coming up. Well,
Other than
Kayla,
that,
you want to do our show plugs?
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yes,
thank you
you
for
very
having
much.
me.
It's
Hope
been a
you've
lot
all
of
been
fun.
watching me fail.
She's failing at this round of this game, but succeeding in life. We want to say thank you to Thea. We're excited to partner with Thea, the new video network and creative community. You can find Terminus live at thea.network, that's THEA.network, every Wednesday after the live stream. The Terminus dates, also, we have this big event happening called Terminus. It's going to be really great. A lot of panels of really experienced folks in the game and film community. So if you want to get smart and party a little bit, come out on June 15th through 17th. There are badges on sale. Book your hotel room by May 23rd for the special rate, which is tomorrow, so do it tonight. Wink. Oh wait, can you see? Wink. Visit terminusevents.com for details. That's TERMINUS event.com for details.
And you get to meet us.
Hi.
I'll be there at least. I think you'll be there, right?
Yeah, there'll be a special event on Saturday.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do our Terminus live at Terminus.
Live. Yes.
Which hopefully will have some old faces and new faces, and I think it's gonna be almost like a lightning round kind of
new
thing where we'll
faces.
cycle people in and out real fast.
Yeah.
So it'll be real fun.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thanks for tuning
All right,
in today.
thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.